welcome back to Past Hero Interviews. I'm your host, Josh Malloy. Tonight we'll be interviewing Anzac legend John Simpson Kirkpatrick. He's here this evening to share with us what he experienced during World War I, the role he undertook during the war, as well as his pre- and post-war experiences. So without further ado, I present to you a man of mateship and bravery, John Simpson Kirkpatrick. Hello Josh, thank you so much for having me on your show tonight. It is a real privilege. Anytime, John. Okay, shall we begin? Sure thing. Let's go. So John, could you tell us about yourself and what your early life and occupations consisted of before going to war? Well Josh, not to brag, but I'm the best known and most famous Anzac of all time. I'm 5'8", which is approximately 173 centimeters tall, and weigh 76 kilograms. My complexion is blue eyes, brown hair. I was born on the 6th of July 1892 in Southern Shields. Southern Shields is a wonderful coastal town in England, not far from Newcastle. My father, Robert Kirkpatrick, was born in Leeds, Scotland on the 26th of November 1837. He was a hard-working sea merchant, earning no more than 2 shillings an hour. My mother, Sarah Simpson, was born on the 14th of July 1885 in Glasgow, Scotland. Now she had the responsibility of nurturing and raising me as well as my other 7 siblings. At the age of 9, I attended the Barnes and Mortimer Road School, only half an hour's walk from our house. Each summer I would work at Murphy's Fair on the sandy shores of Southern Shields, providing donkey rides for the children for a penny a ride. In 1904, a serious accident left my father incapacitated. He later passed away in 1909. I finished school at the age of 18. From there I spent 2 years as the Southern Shields milkman, waking up at the break of dawn and delivering milk to everyone on the order list. I worked 4 days a week, earning 4 shillings an hour. Wow, I'm so sorry to hear about your father's passing. He seemed like a great man. So did you choose to enlist for the war? If so, why? And if you had the chance to enlist again, John, would you accept it? Well Josh, I actually chose to enlist for the war because, like many others, Englishmen like myself in particular, believed that on our way to Turkey from Australia, we would be dropping by England for basic training. Here I was planning on visiting family and friends, but instead I found myself in Egypt. The Australian Imperial Force were initially destined to go to England for basic training, although we were diverted to Egypt to train because England wasn't prepared for such a large colonial force such as ourselves. Now personally, if I was offered the chance to re-enlist for war, I would have to deny the offer. For the only reason I was initially interested in going to war was to visit and go back to England. Now John, can you tell us about your story and journey in the lead up to your enlistment into the Australian Army? That is a very good question. Where to start? Oh, I know. So, at the age of 20, on the 4th of January, 1910 I believe, I had a brief association with the local Territory Army in Southern Shields. Now after this brief association, I joined the Merchant Navy, who at the time was setting sail to Australia. I became the stoker of the steamship that I was currently travelling overseas on. The steamship eventually arrived at Newcastle in New South Wales. In Newcastle, after humping my bluey, which is nowadays known as backpacking, I travelled to Queensland, briefly trying cane cutting and station work. I worked my passage from Cairns to Sydney and became a coal miner at Coaldale in the Illawarra district. Afterwards, I spent the next 3.5 years working as a steward, fireman and greaser on vessels around the Australian coast. Now I had a very, very, very close relationship with my mother and sister back home in England. I sent generous portions of my wages back home to my mother. Now, my enlistment. On the 25th of August 1914, at the age of 22, I enlisted into the Australian Army at the Swan Barracks in Perth, just 3 weeks after the outbreak of World War I. I dropped Kirkpatrick as my surname and took on Simpson, my mother's maiden name, as my surname to avoid being identified as a deserter from the Merchant Marines. For back then, Kirkpatrick was commonly considered only an English name. I enlisted and was assigned as a field ambulance stretcher bearer, a role only given to physically strong men. I was then placed in the 3rd Australian Field Ambulance. Okay, so then, what was the training process like in the lead up to the war? Where did it take you, and what did you benefit from it? So, on the 2nd of November 1914, I embarked from Fremantle, Western Australia, as part of the Australian force for Egypt to commence in basic training. From the day I arrived in Egypt, on the 3rd of December, the training picked up tempo. We were climbing up the pyramids with our heavy packs weighing a total of 30 kilos. We also learned how to load and look after our rifles. We learned the diseases that were present in Turkey at the time and how to prevent infection. Every 5 hours, we marched out into the desert for miles through the soft sand carrying a full pack under the scorching 40-degree sun. Overall, the training in Egypt was extremely hard. The worst thing was, it spanned for 10 grueling weeks. On February the 12th, 1915, the men of the 3rd Field Ambulance, including myself, marched out to El Kafra, where we set up dressing stations for a practice walk between the Australian soldiers, where the Field Ambulance's jobs were to collect the fake wounded and dead soldiers scattered and scattered throughout the sandhills and bring them back into the medical camps for treatment. Wow, John, that sounds truly exhausting. So you arrived at Gallipoli on August 1915. Describe your experiences and problems that you faced during your first 48 hours of war. What did you do and witness? Well, exactly 8 months after enlisting it for the Australian Army, on the 25th of April 1915, I landed at Anzac Cove, Gallipoli. I arrived with the C-Section 3rd Field Ambulance. Now, the C-Section rode ashore from the vessel transport, which was situated 300 metres offshore. Just before 5 a.m, our boat's bow made contact with the Turkish shore. We then leapt out and waded ashore. I was with the second men in the water. The first and third men were killed. We were ambushed by the Turkish forces who were situated at the top of the rugged slopes that stood 375 metres from the shore. The Turkish were savage and heartless, showing no mercy when mowing my fellow Anzacs down with machine guns. Now, casualties on the first day, they were appalling. Out of the 1,500 men in the first wave, 755 remained in active service at the end of the day. The remainder of the men were killed and wounded. Those that did remain were badly affected by the shortage of food and particularly water in the subtropical sun. I can specifically remember that after 8 hours of fighting, there was a shortage of stretchers, medical equipment and supplies. The stretcher parties were reduced from 6 men to 2. We worked all day tending the wounded and carrying them down to the casualty clearing station on the beach at Anzac Cove. That is horrific. You Anzacs were so brave. Now, I've heard that you were commonly known as the bloke with the donk. Is there a story behind this name? If so, for what reason were you called this? So, at the time, several donkeys, as well as food, water and ammunition were brought to shore a day after the soldiers. Many of these donkeys had been abandoned and were grazing in the wild overgrown gullies. So after carrying 2 injured heavy men down the front lines, I noticed a nearby donkey grazing and decided to use him to help carry the injured soldiers down to the beach. Yes, I found that the donkey responded well to my gentle actions that I had previously developed as a young man at the Murphy's Fair back in Southern Shields. On the donkey there was no saddle, stirrups or reins. I did, however, create a makeshift headstool from leads and bandages. From that day on, I decided to act as an independent unit. I rarely reported back to the ambulance headquarters for instructions, and for the first 4 days I was technically a deserter, until the commanding officer, seeing the value of my work, agreed to turn a blind eye and approve my actions. So further down the track, I made a saddle bag from bags and blankets, used ropes for the headstool and lead, and after a few weeks of working alongside the heroic mule, I began being called the bloke with the donk by numerous Australian, British and New Zealand soldiers. Even a few of the Indian soldiers noticed and idolised me. That is a genius idea. Full credit to you. Describe what a day in the life of John Simpson consisted of during the war. What did you do and where did you go? So each morning at 6 a.m, me and my donkey would make our way up Shrapnel Gully. Shrapnel Gully was the main supply route to the front line. My donkey and I then cut across to Quinn's Post, where a large majority of the injured soldiers lay waiting for help. To the left of Quinn's Post was Dead Man's Ridge, held by the Turks. From here, they were able to aim right down Shrapnel Gully, which is exactly where I came up. I made this half-mile trip through sniper fire and shrapnel about 12 to 15 times per day. I would leave my donkey under cover and then advance forward through the thick shrub to pick up injured soldiers one by one and carry them back to my donkey. On my return trip back to Anzac Cove, I would deliver food and water to the other wounded soldiers. I continued this late as 3 a.m. into the next morning. During the 3.5 hours spared, I usually tried to sleep, eat and take care of my donkey. I would also occasionally assist medics in the surgery room, getting them their tools and medicine. If only people nowadays sacrificed as much as themselves for others, as much as you did. So, during the war, did you communicate with home? If so, what did you send home? Okay, so during the war, I frequently sent letters back home to England. These letters were sent and delivered by the delivery post. But let me tell you, it was a long process for the notes to reach home and then for their replies to get back. Sometimes I would send souvenirs back home, things like matchboxes and buttons. The army were very cautious about what we sent. They would read over all of our letters to check if we shared any secrets regarding war tactics and actions. Usually, I would receive letters from home along with newspapers and postcards to keep us informed with everything else that was happening at home and around the world. My letters were very important to me for my emotional state, considering I dealt with severely wounded and dead soldiers on a daily basis. Now sometimes my letters wouldn't even reach home because at the time they travelled by boats, and during the war, boats were regularly sunk by enemies, resulting in the loss of millions and millions of letters. Millions of letters? That's devastating. So anyway, did you receive any awards or defence honours after war? If so, for what reasons were you awarded? Well, yes, Josh, I received many awards regarding my service in World War I. These consisted of the 1914-15 Star, the British War Medal. I was mentioned in dispatches 6 times. I was awarded the Distinguished Service of Order and a Victoria Cross. I also received a First World War embarkation roll, just like every other soldier who ever fought. I received the 1914-15 Star for my excellence and bravery demonstrated in the war zone, as well as the British War Medal, although this award is given for a higher level of service. I was also awarded the Distinguished Service Order for my distinguished acts of initiative and quick thinking during the war as a stretcher bearer. Now I am especially proud to announce that I earned a Victorian Cross. I earned this as a result of my bravery demonstrated during the wartime. I was the first stretcher bearer ever to be awarded with a Victorian Cross. Now I was finally mentioned in dispatches 6 times because my name appeared in an official report written by a superior officer. John, congratulations on your awards. No wonder they called you an Australian hero. So finally, did you feel that you succeeded and made a difference in the war? If so, why? I believe yes, I did actually make a major difference in the war, for I rescued over 350 wounded men during my 25 days in Turkey. My creativity and quick thinking to use a donkey for transport enabled me to reach the soldiers faster and frequently. I was also idolised as a strong hero by the other Australian soldiers. Leading by example, influencing mateship and that sacrificing your own life for the safety of others and your country is honourable and nothing to be afraid of. I model the true Anzac spirit of selflessness, larrikinism, determination, humanism, courage and improvisation. Therefore, marginalising Australia on a world scale for other countries to see as affectionate, courageous and gallant. Okay John, that's all from me. Thank you for your time tonight. I'm sure the viewers discovered a wealth of information about you and the horrors of World War I. You did a great job putting into perspective what yourself, as well as the other Anzac soldiers, stretcher bearers and medics had to go through at war. Josh, it's my pleasure. Thank you so much for having me. I'll see you next time. That's all for now. Join me tomorrow evening for a controversial interview with Bill Cosby. Good night.